Jake Paul's boxing career has been an interesting watch since his first pro fight against Anderson Gibb in 2020. Many believed he wouldn't be able to beat the people he has up until, of course, Tommy Fury, who dominated him the entire fight. His next opponent is an interesting one because Nate Diaz has never been KO'd in his entire career. And could Jake Paul be the first to do so? We'll be looking at the pair's most recent training footage for their upcoming fight and who is looking better prepared. So stick around to the end for the full details. Yesterday, Jake Paul posted, "Nate Diaz wants 10 rounds. I guess he has good cardio." Okay, Nathan, 10 rounds it is, which, as most of you would know, is definitely better suited to Nate Diaz, as although he smokes like a chimney, his cardio always has remained in top condition. But it seems Nate Diaz isn't trying to do any more rounds than the fight was originally signed for, because he simply responded with, "I'm good with 8. For those that don't know, the fight is happening on August 5th, so it's only 2 months away. And it appears that Nate Diaz's biggest rival is picking him in the bout.
What do you think of that? Nate Diaz, Jake Paul fight.
I think Nate Diaz slaps the head off, and I look forward to seeing it.
Look forward to seeing it. Are you going to go to Dallas August 5th in Dallas? Would you be ringside for that?
Jesus, I'll probably be on the Lamborghini just off the coast of Sicily. I'll be on the Lamborghini off the coast of Sicily.
Hey, but you got Nate though. You're picking Nate.
I think so, Nate. I think Nate.
That's what's up.
Which isn't exactly surprising considering Conor has almost spent 30 minutes inside the cage with Nate. So there's a level of respect that he would pick him over a YouTuber. But if Nate does end up losing, it's a very bad look for the UFC in general. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the post notification bell. This way you'll never miss out on any future celebrity videos similar to these. Recently, you even had Conor come out and call Jake Paul a donkey, which was pretty funny to see, and Jake didn't take it lightly. "I'm a better boxer than you, Conor, and will do what you couldn't," and knock Nate out. After Nate, let's box as the co-main event same night as Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano in Dublin. But since you're not your own boss, you will hide behind Dana or just drink the rest of your life away. August 5th, you will see. You would all know Jake has been begging for a Conor McGregor fight since his original infamous call-out video a few years back. And still, to this day, in any interview you see of Conor, he has not once even spoke of Jake Paul's name, which is hilarious in itself because he's acting like he's some sort of dirt or leech on the bottom of his shoe that won't come off. As you are all well aware, the Ohio-born Puerto Rican has never suffered a defeat against an MMA opponent, including Silva. Tyrone Woodley and Ben Askren were knocked out by him. But when it came time to face a boxer in Tommy Fury, he got beat quite easily. "My last fight didn't end the way I wanted, but the result was the best thing that could have happened to my professional boxing aspirations," Paul said in a statement. "Now the world thinks I'm vulnerable, when all I am is more focused than ever. My team wanted me to take an easy fight like KSI next, but that's not how I'm built. Nate Diaz is considered one of the most badass fighters of all time, but he and his team have been running their mouths for too long." Nate Diaz recently made the unexpected statement, "Besides Canelo, he's the biggest thing in boxing. I'm here to conquer that. I'm the king of combat sports, and then I'm headed back to get my UFC belt. I effed up Conor for acting out, and now here I am again, like a superhero of the real fight game. I am the king of the real fight game." We've already had one press conference happen, which was pretty underwhelming, mainly because there was no crowd to hype it up. Once that happens, it'll be complete chaos, and you know something is going to be planned on Jake's side to rile him up. People may be annoyed with Nate Diaz's statement that Jake is the biggest thing in boxing besides Canelo, but in just his 7th professional fight against Tommy Fury, he managed to get over 800,000 PPV buys, which is insane if you think about it. A lot of people have been debating whether or not Nate Diaz's boxing is even capable of lasting long against Jake Paul in a boxing ring, considering the caliber of fighters he's fought. As let's face it, Anderson Silva would beat Nate Diaz and Jake Paul dropped him. Well, a few weeks back, Nate Diaz dropped some of his boxing training footage and fans weren't impressed. He could easily be playing mind games and looking that stiff on purpose, or maybe not. The majority of comments were mixed about this clip, with stuff like stoppage by Nate's face pouring too much blood, calling it RN. The thing is, Nate literally has his own style of fighting. Very wild, open, weirdly angled swings that are effective. His last fight with the champ Leon Edwards, if the end of the fight went on any longer, Nate would have dropped him. He had him rocked, and instead of finishing it, he made jokes and goofed off. He still has it, and Askren hit the pads better than Nate. Now, that last take is a wild claim. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about this matchup. Who do you honestly think is going to win, and in what fashion? Will it be a Jake Paul KO, Nate Diaz stoppage? Comment below. Next up, we'll check out some of Jake Paul's most recent training footage, and one thing you can never discredit him for is his hard work.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Beautiful. That's good. Boom.
Short what you want, I got what you need.
It's going to be an interesting fight, that's for sure, because Jake is, of course, the younger, stronger fighter, but Diaz has the years of experience and has never been KO'd, so it will be tough for Jake to get him out of there quickly. I can definitely see it going the distance, although if you were to put your money on it, an early Jake Paul stoppage. Next up, we'll see some fighters' predictions for the fight and how they see it panning out. First up, we've got the Diamond Dustin Poirier, one of my favorite fighters to watch, where he stated, "Man, Jake's younger, bigger, faster. It's not an easy fight," Poirier said. Just because Nate's a grizzled veteran with the right experience and Jake's a new guy who's on YouTube, he's got the money and the amenities to surround himself with the best people and dedicate himself to fighting. And he's younger and more explosive. And I think Diaz's boxing is good for MMA. It's a completely different thing. It's a completely different thing. Of course, everyone was eager to hear Dana White's response, but he ultimately took a completely different tack and said this.
I know you don't care about any of Jake Paul fights, but I'm sure you care about Nate Diaz fighting, and he's making his professional boxing debut against Jake Paul. Do you think Jake's bitten off a bit more than he can chew with Nate?
I don't want to shit on other people's fights, like Oscar De La Huerta. Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about the fight. It's just, there's no, first of all, neither guy is my guy. There's just no need for me to comment on it or whatever. I wish them the best. I hope they make $1 zillion.
You could hear the hint of sarcasm at the end there from Dana about the $1 zillion, but it will be a closer fight than everyone thinks. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to Loaf for future celebrity videos, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.